It's October. The nights are getting longer, and the rain is more present than usual on our sunny British Isles. As the rest of the world is flooded with Halloween and themed drinks, and the oncoming threat of another few months of nothing but Christmas adverts on telly looms in the near future, Japan is here to the rescue with an entirely new batch of anime debuting, hoping to keep us distracted for the next 13 weeks. As is becoming tradition at this point, I'm here with my thoughts on the first of the new shows, and I'll be back over the coming days to bring you more thoughts and commentary as I bring you the 2017 Autumn Anime Preview from a different perspective. In an anime season that seemed to be built on the foundations of previous shows, one of the most noteworthy sequels on offer is that of Mahou Sensei Negi Ma. Originally airing in 2005, Negi Ma is based on Ken Akamatsu's manga of the same name. If you've not heard of Negi Ma, then where have you been? Either you're a new anime fan, or you missed an entire chunk of anime from the mid-noughties, as Negi Ma was considered quite a big deal back then. Akamatsu's prior work, Love Hina, was a critical and commercial success, and got a large number of OVAs, and so when he moved on to work on a new story involving a kid teacher who is also a wizard, people were interested in what he'd come up with next. You see, the original anime for Negi Ma, it wasn't great. The start was fine, even if the animation was a bit off. Then they did that awful thing when an anime adaptation of an ongoing manga series, they tried to type an ending too soon, an anime original ending which was unneeded. Throw in a poor attempt at a comedy-based pseudo-sequel, more of an alternate retelling really, and a few only in Japan OVA episodes, you can see why it was dropped out of relevance. But the story itself, as told in the 38 volumes of manga, remained solid, and so when a new series started last year called Yuku Holder, I was right on board with Hype Train to see if it could recapture a magic. And then we learned that it starred characters from Negi Ma, and was effectively a sequel to the original story, for Hype Train Exploded. As you can probably tell, I am pretty hyped for this series, which was finally given its official subtitle as Mahou Sensei Negi Ma Too early this year. The start of Yuku Holder reintroduces us to our kid teacher Negi Springfield. He's been pushed around as usual by students, all of which have either respect or greater feelings for him in one way or another. And then a very Negi Ma thing happens, he sneezes, stripping them of their clothing. Yeah, it's very much a Negi Ma thing. This is very much of Negi Ma we know and love. But then we focused in on Evangeline, another of his students, a vampire girl, a girl who respects Negi Ma. A girl who respects Negi not only as a teacher, but also as a student. Evangeline taught him so much, and Negi in return taught her to come out of her shell and be part of his class too. But being an immortal vampire can be a lonely existence, and 80 years later, she's again alone. Or would she be, had she not taken on responsibility for looking after a young orphan, Toto Konoe. Of course, this isn't Evangeline in a young girl form, remember. Evangeline is now a beautiful woman, with a bountiful chest and a rear end which is more than willing to flaunt through a tight miniskirt. Yukihime, as she's now known, is a teacher, and Toto wants to show her that he's ready to stand out in the wider world and go atop the space tower to fulfill some unknown destiny that he thinks he will find waiting for him there. Clearly, she doesn't want him in danger, and she uses up all her strength and experience to show that he's just a child on every occasion possible. This doesn't last forever, however, and through a series of events, both she and Toto are killed brutally by a bounty hunter. After all, the giant bounty is on her head. She is an ageless vampire guilty of an entire catalogue of historical catastrophes, after all. Of course, being immortal, death doesn't come easy to her, but as her powers were sealed, it was up to Toto to take on real mortality as well, become a vampire, and to save a day. It was a whole lot more of a brutal episode than I was expecting. Having read a manga, this scene is actually quite brutal itself, but it's not what you'd expect from Negi Ma. So if you're coming into this expecting sunshine and exploded clothing, then you're going to be on quite a journey. You're going to get that as well, but Yeah, it'd be much more. I keep going back to Negi Ma, but for those of you who haven't read it, don't worry. Whilst later on there's a whole bunch of returning characters and terminology, it gives enough room to describe what's happening so new viewers don't feel lost and may understand. The return of Evangeline to our screens should be seen as a triumph for a classic series returning to a quality it should have been from the start, and I highly recommend the show based on the first episode alone. If you want to watch with me, you can find it over Anime Strike in North America and High Dive in the UK. In a season of anime full of sequels and spin-offs, we of course have to look at some of the new properties getting adaptations as well. Black Cobra is such a property. It's getting a big push from our streamwaves given it's not only one of the first new shows to start airing, but also the marketing push has been wide, even extending to its presence in the latest loot anime. The series starts out loud, and its volume remains high throughout, but for different reasons. We first meet our two main characters as screaming kids. One of them screaming at least. Yuno is a quiet and gently sleeping vision of peace, whilst Asta is kicking and bawling like his favourite toy has been taken away from him, and he kicks like a strong man too. Jumping forward in time, as you'd probably expect from a show like this, we meet the two boys again. Yuno is still an elegant, pretty boy with fantastic magical powers. Or is that Glenda from Pretty Princess Yushu? And Asta is still loud. He's loud and failing to do chores. He's loud and failing to confess to his favourite girl. He's even loud and just talking quietly. His defining character trait is that he is loud. He also has no magic powers and is a laughingstock of everybody, as everybody has magic except him. We're getting into serious trope territory here, and it's all beginning to sound a whole lot like the familiar of Zero. And that's a show that only got a pass to begin with, as the girls were cute. Asta and Yuno are not cute. And so we move to a big annual event. All the kids Asta and Yuno's age gather and are given their grimoires, magical tomes that enhance their magic. Of course, Yuno gets a perfect tome, a 4-leaved clover of the same type and tome as the legendary Wizard King. Meanwhile, Asta gets nothing. He is not too happy about it. He is not very happy about it loudly. A bad guy apparently took notice of Yuno's new tome, and he ends up getting attacked. Somehow Asta manages to save a day, and wouldn't you know it, he has an impossibly rare magic power. He has a brand new tome. Not just a 4-leaf clover, a 5-leaf clover. The cursed clover. The black clover. Yeah, that's where the name of the show comes from, I imagine. Black Clover isn't a terrible show, and it does show a bit of promise of going somewhere interesting. But I really wish I'd do it in a way that was less stressful for my eardrums. I don't know about it being Black Clover. Maybe Familiar of Zero Volume Control would be more appropriate. Black Clover is streaming on Crunchyroll. Do you like samurai? Do you like vampires? Do you like werewolves? Do you watch Twilight and wish it had more tropes to appeal to young ladies? Well, I have great news for you. Coming this anime season is the most Fujoshi-based show you could possibly ever dream up. Sengoku Nightblood. Now, I'll start off this preview with a bit of a side. Obviously, when I'm watching every show and sharing my opinions on them, I'm going to prefer some shows over others, and my reviews will take that into consideration. However, the overall traffic lights at the end of the reviews, I'm going to try and make fairer. I won't penalise a show just because it has pretty boys and is not really going to appeal to me. But onto a show. Welcome to feudal Japan. Cherry blossoms bloom on every tree, and hundreds of warriors charge at each other in a scene that can only be described as a battle. Beautiful generals exchange pleasantries whilst fighting for their lives. The start of the show is a bit jarring, however, as I suddenly flip to modern ages to bring a normal girl back into the past. It's not just a Sengoku era show, It's Sengoku Isekai. So, our heroine, Yuzuki, is transported to the Sengoku period. The usual tropes that happen as you'd expect. She gets spotted by one of the generals who comments about her strange clothes. She gets taken to a camp where she sits in a corner like the odd girl out. It's at this point where we learn that there were actually werewolves and vampires in this world as well. And thus the Joshi trifecta is complete. It's hard to really discuss the story of a series like this, as they're pretty much the same as each other. What differs here is we seem to be focusing on the Toyotomi army rather than the Oda army. Although Hideyoshi, Oda, it's all the same really, isn't it? Oh, and Toyotomi really wants to suck Yuzuki's blood, because doing so apparently turned him Super Saiyan. Because that's a thing. You know, thinking about how a show would be if it was a guy and there was a bunch of beautiful ladies falling over him. And I'm still kind of repulsed. There are very few redeeming features in this show, and I'm struggling to name even one of them. If you do want to watch it, it's over on Crunchyroll. Give it a try. Jeannie Tyson, Zodiac War, is a series with a whole lot of confusion on what story it wants to tell in the first episode. But enough of summing up the review before reading written it, let's talk about the series itself. Jeannie Tyson is about a woman called Ino. We see her wandering around an abandoned city late at night, armed to the gills with weapons. My eyes were immediately drawn to a giant pair. Seriously, why she needs 2 giant machine guns, I'll never know. Well, I will, that's kind of the point of this episode really. But whilst we're being shown her, we get loads of random flashbacks back into the past. To her training to be an assassin. Well, she certainly is skilled, that's for certain. But she's also flawed. She shows mercy to someone her father once killed, and he's not at all happy about it. We're also introduced to her sister, a girl who loves killing. Heck, she went out and killed an entire family of foxes just for the heck of it. And so when she gets chosen above Ino for some major tournament that only happens once every 12 years, Ino isn't all too pleased about her being skipped. And so she takes revenge. She turns her sister into a being that lives only for killing. She gets off on killing and eventually consumes her to the point of destroying herself. And of course, Ino gets sent out on a magical mystery tournament. Job done. And so now we know why she's wandering around, heavily armed in the middle of the night. It has something to do with this tournament. And we even get an introduction to a tournament from a mysterious organiser. Apparently there are 12 groups involved, each connected to one of the Zodiac animals. Our girl Ino is the boar. We also have a monkey, the rabbit, the ox, etc. And as would be kind of obvious by now, it's a game of death. With guns, explosives, and a mostly naked rabbit man with a huge bulging pair of speedos. So it's less battle royale and more fruit day baskets. If you do want to watch this for yourself, you can find it over on Crunchyroll. 4 shows down, and an unbelievable number still remain to be checked out. It's been an interesting set of shows so far, one far greater than the other 3. 2 are going to be instantly dropped, and the 4th is on very thin ice. The quality of shows can only go up at this point in the last 2, surely. Please? Well, regardless, thank you as ever for watching. Be sure to check out my other previews when posted. You can subscribe to keep track when I upload them. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.